We continue the grammar in chapter 13. Now we take lesson 2. In lesson 2, we, 1 minute, I share to you in lesson 2, we take what? In lesson 2, we take the commas. We take commas. Do you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. Commas, first one is commas in a series. When I am listing, so I have, I bought books, comma, pencils, comma, erasers, comma, and rulers. When I list more or of 2 items, I add comma. So I bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, and, okay? Pears at the store. I danced, comma, ran, and parked today. I danced in the rain, ran in the snow, and poked on brothers today. So comma and comma. Easy, you know it. Sometimes I can use semicolon in a series. So I use semicolon instead of a comma within parts of a series to separate the items. So I have items, but I want to separate them. Items, I want to separate them. In the Olympics, the first place winner gets a gold medal. So it's, okay, second place, comma, okay? Second place, comma, a silver medal, semicolon, again. The first place winner gets a gold medal. Now I finished it, so semicolon. Second place, comma, a silver medal, semicolon. The third place, a bronze medal. Okay, so this is to separate. So I use semicolon and I use the comma. Semicolon to separate, Dr. Peoples, expedition leader. So here it is for Dr. Peoples, comma. I'm modifying it or saying who is he. Semicolon to modify, to separate. Mr. Keen, comma, botanist. Semicolon and Mr. Tate, comma, chef. When list items contains commas, you can separate them with semicolons. When listing has commas. Okay, we can write it this way or we can use bullets like this, bulleting. Mr. People, comma, expedition leader. Mr. Keen, comma, botanist. Mr. Tate, comma, chef. All of these, when they are together, I separate them with semicolon. Semicolon. Then, when do I use comma? In coordinating conjunctions. Okay, coordinating conjunctions. Actually, yesterday I was preparing from grade 11 book. I thought it's your book, so that's why I had a mistake. You don't have this part in your lesson. You don't have coordinated conjunction punctuation. But I will say it to you, and you're not asked to know it this year, but I will say it to you. Because it is written for you, but it is written as a tip. Yani, do you see the tip, editing tip? Girls, on page 243, do you see the tip?
Yes.
Okay. This is in the tip. What? Coordinating conjunction. Remember coordinated conjunction when we use fanboys, comma, for, comma. And remember when we took this lesson at the beginning of the year, we said I never use a fanboys without a comma before it. Okay, so it joins 2 words or phrases or dependent clauses. Okay, when a fanboys joins clauses, independent clauses, I use comma. But when they are in the middle of words like cookies and milk, I do not add a comma. At the beach or by the lakeside, I do not add comma. What you say and what you do, I do not add comma. But when they join 3 or more items, I add comma. So peanuts, comma, cookies, and milk. In the mountains, comma, at the beach, or, comma, or by the lakeside. What you think, comma, what you say, comma, and what you do. Okay, what is for adjectives? Use a comma to separate 2 or more adjectives that precede the same noun. They precede and modify the same noun. I have adjectives, so I separate them when they modify the same noun. Okay? So when I say he was a difficult, stubborn child, the quick, efficient road work helped the city a lot. So quick is an adjective for road work. Efficient is an adjective for road work, but I separate them. But I do not separate the last adjective from the word, okay? The crew use meticulous, precise measurements to complete the work. Do not use comma to separate adjectives that must appear in a certain order. Some colorful birds perch on the roof. So can you say colorful? Because here I have some is adjective, colorful, adjectives for birds. Can you say colorful some birds, or can you say some colorful birds? Teacher, some is adjective and colorful is adjective, and both of them are adjectives to birds. Oh, teacher, I separate them. No, no. Can you say some, colorful bird? No, it will mean something else. So some adjectives, they do not be separated. Do not use a comma to separate the last adjective. Also, in the series, when I come to the last adjective in a series, I do not separate it. So we walked on the long, twisting, science route directly. I do not say scenic route. I do not say scenic, route. No, this is wrong. We walked on the long, twisting, scenic, route. Wrong. No, I do not separate the last comma. The last adjective, I do not separate the last adjective, only between the first two adjectives. And when I have two adjectives but cannot be separated, I do not add comma. Okay? So the last adjective is a part of sometimes of a compound noun. Like in your book, when he says to you, we studied the ornate, mysterious mummy case. Mysterious mummy is like a compound noun, so never divide it. Okay, mummy case is a compound noun. Okay, so if I say ornate, mysterious mummy case, okay, I do not divide them. I do not divide them. Are you with me, girls?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so let's solve and then I will show you something here. We solve it. We go to exercise 3. I'll give you 2 minutes, 2 minutes to solve, and then I'll start calling your names. Okay, previous time where did we stop? It was at Lean, and Lean answered. Now we go to Lilian. Lilian,
Yes, Miss.
number 1 on page 243, dear.
The names Howard.
I
Oh,
add commas. Here,
okay.
where do
Yes,
you add the comma?
we add the names Howard Carter, Lord
Yes.
Henry,
Lord Henry
Carnarvon.
Carnarvon,
Comma.
comma,
And King
Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun often appear together.
Excellent dear. Number 2, is Lean here? No, Lean is not here. So Lujain?
Yes, miss. Howard Carter was a famous, British archaeologist.
No, here I do not separate it because British archaeologists, I cannot separate it.
Between
So,
famous and British, I thought because they're two
yeah,
adjectives.
if I can separate British, okay, here British archaeologists, I cannot separate them. So famous British, I do not separate it. Okay, dear?
Yes.
Why? It's a compound noun. British archaeologists.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, welcome, dear. So answer 3 يرجع.
Lord Carnarvon supplied Carter with money, encouragement, and other support.
Excellent. We go to number 4. Malak Wasim.
Yes, miss.
Number 4 on page 244.
Yeah,
Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun. You know Tutankhamun, the Egyptian pharaoh?
No, was a young, wealthy king of Egypt.
Yes. He was a young,
Wealthy king.
yes. Number 5, Maya.
Miss, number 2 is correct.
Yes. 5, Maya. Maya, are you doing well today?
Yes, miss.
Yes, alhamdulillah, Maya.
Thank you.
Can you answer 5?
Yes. Others said there were no tombs left to be found, but Carter never gave up digging, searching, and hoping.
Where can you add commas? In listing, يعني 3 things come after each other.
After digging.
Yes, digging, excellent, comma.
Searching,
comma, excellent, dear. Excellent, Maya. Najwa? Natalie?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Number 6.
Yes.
Soon they discovered some door with seal, a passageway filled with rubble,
The
and another
discovery of a step buried in the sand, dear. We are in 6.
Yes, they discovered a step buried in the sand, mystified, thrilled, and a comma before and.
Yes, a comma, so mystified, comma, thrilled, comma, and. Excellent, dear. 7, Noor Abdul Karim.
Yes, miss. Soon they discovered a tomb door with a sealed pathway, filled with. Were we going to put comma before and?
Again, ya Noor?
Are we going to put comma before and?
Yes, yes, a comma before and there is a comma, another comma. They discovered a tomb door with a seal, comma, a passageway filled with rubble, comma. Okay, 2 listing things before and.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Noor Bilal.
Yes, miss. Through the first door down the passageway and through the second door they went. After passageway.
Yes, and there is another comma before it.
Through the first door.
Yes, through the first door, comma, down the passageway, comma, and through the second door they went. 9, Arima.
Yes, miss.
Yes. 9.
They worked with trembling hands, beating hearts, and alert minds. Comma between trembling hands and beating hearts.
Yeah.
And before and.
Excellent, dear. 10, Sarah Abbara.
Among many other things, they found statues, chariots, and furniture.
Excellent dear. 11 Zaina. Yes.
Miss, I'm Jenna. I'm sorry I didn't answer when you called. It was a long time before, but because the
Last
Wi-Fi
period.
was very
Okay.
weak.
Okay, answer 11 يا جنى.
Okay. Scale model boards, comma, ornate chests, comma, and game boards. Please
Yes,
correct.
excellent dear. 12 Zaina. أسماء. أسماء. بثينة.
Yes, miss.
Yes dear.
Number 12. Most objects were found in the entire chamber, the brawl chamber, and the treasury room. We're gonna put the comma after chamber
Excellent.
and before and we're gonna put another comma.
Excellent dear. Excellent dear. 13 Dahlia.
Yes, miss.
Dahlia, in 13 I have 3 adjectives. Or no, not 3 adjectives. Yeah, 3 adjectives to describe the archaeologists. Awed, stunned, and amazed. How can I separate them?
Mm,
I have 3 adjectives before a word, modify a word. I want to separate them. How do I separate in a series?
comma.
Oh, yeah, I add comma. After awed, comma, stunned, comma, and amazed. Okay, number 14, Dareen.
Yes, miss. The recovered items revealed clues to Egyptian life, death, and afterlife. Egyptian life, comma, death, comma, and afterlife.
Excellent, dear. Excellent. 15, Dana Wael. Durra.
This splendid, rich treasure trove would amaze the world. I will put a comma after splendid.
Excellent, dear. Excellent. Now we'll go to exercise 4. Fatima, first sentence.
Yes, miss. Sequoia,
Sequoia.
Sequoia, whose name is also spelled Sequoia, Sequoia, and Sequoia. We will put a comma before and.
Excellent, dear. Was a Cherokee trader. Smith and leader, huh?
Yeah, we will put after trader and before and.
Excellent, dear. Excellent. Ghada, number 2. Number 2,
Yes.
there is nothing to fix. Go to number 5.
5. In fact, the Maya, Aztec, Delaware, and Chippewa all created hieroglyphic writing systems. Before and
Yes,
after
so
Delaware.
I have a listing. I have Maya, Aztec, Delaware, and Chippewa.
Only this, I think.
Maya, comma, Aztec, comma, Delaware, comma, and Chippewa. Because I'm listing, so I have to separate them, dear. Okay, Jana. Yes, excellent. Number 6, Jana. Jana. You went again, Jana. Joanna. Jude.
Yes, miss. Number 6.
Yeah.
Then he began adapting letters from English, Greek, and Hebrew. After English, Greek, comma, and Hebrew.
After English, comma, because English and the Greek, this is a subject and this is a subject.
I thought they were together. English, comma, Greek, comma, and Hebrew.
Yes. Number 7, there is nothing. Excellent, Jude. Number 8, Lana.
Yes, miss. It had more than 80 characters, which represented the syllables of the Cherokee language.
Yes.
Is this
There is
correct?
nothing in 8. Go to 9.
Yes. Sequoia's new imaginative writing system spread rapidly.
Yes.
It's correct as
So
well.
Sequoia's new, imaginative writing. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. New, imaginative writing system spread rapidly. 10. Sarah. Sarah.
So, yes, after soon the Cherokee were writing letters, newspaper, and books in their own language.
Yes. Yes.
Teacher, is
Uh,
15?
yes, dear.
Number 15.
Yes.
What is that? Is it correct?
15. Where?
In page 244.
This is splendid, reach. Reach.
Yes, okay, thank you, Miss.
Welcome, dear.
Miss,
Right.
can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
It's about number 8 in the paragraph, proofreading
Yes.
paragraph.
8.
Miss, don't you just, remove the comma between which and characters?
Then 80 characters. No, it had more than 80 characters, which you represented. Because which represented the syllables of the Cherokee language is an adjective to characters.
Okay, yes, thank you, Miss.
It goes at the end of, I think most.
Oh, Paige.
Hi, David.
Girls, these are videos from Khan Academy, and Khan Academy is a very strong website. You can register on Khan Academy and start solving SAT exams if you are take the SAT or planning to take SAT.
So today we're going to talk about the 3 different ways to end a sentence. This is what we call a terminal punctuation of English. Paige, what are those 3 ways?
So the first is a period.
Okay.
And then exclamation point. And a question mark. A period is just sort of the standard ending to a sentence.
Sure.
Right? It goes at the end of, I think, most sentences. I would say that all of the sentences that we have spoken so far would probably end in periods.
So what's a good example sentence that we could use a period at the end of?
My mom ate a cookie.
So that's just sort of a straight up regular old sentence.
Yeah.
Just a standard declaration of a fact.
Exactly.
This is a thing that is true. My mom ate a cookie.
Yes.
Cool. And then we just put this period there to say that's the end of the thought, end of line. So then what is an exclamation point for? Like, what would we use that for?
Yeah, so an exclamation point is pretty much if someone is excited about what they're saying.
Okay.
I think. So if I were to say, I'm going to eat so much candy when I get home, I think that was probably an exclamation.
Sure.
And ends in an exclamation point.
But it's not just like good excitement either.
Right.
It's not just like, whoa, this is awesome.
Totally. There can be, anger, like, go to your room.
Right.
Or like fear. If you said,
ah!
Yes, exactly.
We have the period, which is kind of this all-purpose terminal punctuation. You can just say a regular declarative sentence, here is a fact, my mom ate a cookie. Or you can use exclamation points to demonstrate excitement or strong emotion, whether good or bad. So like an interjection like, ah, or a command like, go to your room. Or if you're super excited, I'm going to eat so much candy. What is this thing used for?
Well, I think that was a perfect example of what that thing is used for. That is a question mark, which goes at the end of a question. So it basically just signifies, I don't know the answer to this thing, and I would like an answer to it, please.
So Paige, what's an example question that we could throw out using a question mark?
How about, is this edible?
That's the eternal question.
I ask myself that every day.
Okay, so we have periods, just statement of facts, exclamations, expressions of strong emotion, or question marks, which ask a question, I guess?
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, grammarians. Today, Paige and I are going to teach you all about your new best friend, the comma. It is a piece of punctuation that has many, many, many functions, and we're just going to broadly overview them today. The comma is an extremely powerful piece of punctuation. It can do a whole bunch of stuff. So, Paige, what is like the most pertinent or important thing that the comma does?
I would probably say that it is separating sentence elements.
Okay. So that's like its broad superpower.
Exactly.
But it can also, but lots of stuff falls under that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's like it has laser vision, but it can not only use that laser vision to like boil water, but it can also cut through steel.
Exactly.
So this is like a superhero punctuation mark. I'll make that into a C for comma. So, okay, so how is the comma going to save the day today? How's it going to make our sentences make sense? What are some of the things that it separates?
So it can separate elements of lists.
Mm-hmm. So like, for lunch I had tofu, comma, spam, comma, and seaweed. Very Hawaiian lunch.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
So that's a way in which we can. So it's separating these elements of this list. I guess commas can also separate dates.
That's right.
Dates and times. So, for example, here in the United States, National Blueberry Muffin Day is July 11th. And if we wanted to refer to a historical Blueberry Muffin Day, let's say July 11th, comma, 1981.
Wow.
It was the best muffin day ever.
That I wish I could have been around for.
Yeah. Okay, so a comma can separate lists, and it can be used for dates, and we can also like set off things at the beginning of sentences. Like basically everything is great.
Right.
So the comma has like a bunch of different functions. It's like this super useful multi-tool. It's this superhero of a piece of punctuation. So we're not going to cover all of that in this video. The most important thing to remember about the comma is what it does is separate sentence elements. It can separate clauses. It can separate items in a list. It can separate dates. Usually when you're trying to make a separation within a sentence, you use a comma. So Paige, what are some things that commas can't do?
That's a great question. So commas can't go at the end of a sentence.
Okay, so I couldn't be like, I want to go swimming, comma, and I couldn't end a sentence that way.
Right. You need to say something after the comma.
So this is no good.
No.
Or you have to keep going. Like,
right.
I want to go swimming, and then sailing. And end it with a period like that.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be fine. That's totally fine usage for a comma if it's in the middle of a sentence, but not at the end of a sentence.
Right.
Okay, so commas only go in the middle.
Yeah.
So, comma separates stuff, which therefore means it has to be in between something.
Right. There has to be something to the left and something to the right.
Cool. All right. That's a comma.
Yeah.
Would you say?
I think we have successfully met the comma.
Cool. You can learn anything. David out.
Paige out.
Okay, guys, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody's born smart. There was a time when Einstein couldn't count to 10, and Shakespeare had to learn his ABCs just like the rest of us. You stumble, slip, crawl.
There's another video I'm just searching. It is all also in
Hello, grammarians. Today, Paige.
Look here also. That as I told you, I use
في مجالات شتى بدءا من الرياضيات والطب.
Commas are tricky things, especially when subordinates and conjunctions are involved. If you can remember a few basic rules, a simple law of physics, and some common scenarios, you will be able to use commas correctly. I like to think of the different parts of our sentence as characters. Let's meet a few of them. The tiny conjunctions, the mighty subordinates, and the clever comma. Conjunctions are small and nimble. They are words that connect clauses, words, and phrases. You can easily remember the conjunctions by remembering the acronym FANBOYS. The conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Because they're so small, more often than not, they require the help of a comma, but not always. Subordinates, on the other hand, are the WWE heavyweight champions of sentences. They are words that connect two unequal things, dependent and independent clauses. Subordinates make it very clear what is being prioritized in a sentence. Commonly used subordinates are although, because, before, however, unless, and even though. Because subordinates are all about power, they can do a lot of heavy lifting by themselves. But, of course, sometimes even the strongest among us needs some help from our clever friends. Because our clever comma is so nice, she often roams her neighborhood looking for some community service to do. Today, as soon as she leaves her house, she sees a subordinate lifting the weight of 2 complete sentences, one on each arm. Bartholomew loves engaging in political debate, even though he usually loses. The comma asks the subordinate if he needs help. Well, we know that subordinates are the WWE heavyweight champions of sentences. They can easily hold the weight of these 2 complete sentences because they are distributed evenly on both arms. So, when the comma asks if it can help, the subordinate is appalled at the idea of needing assistance. No thanks. Maybe next time. So the comma continues on. Soon, she sees a couple of subordinates attempting to lift the weight of sentences directly in front of themselves. Even though Bartholomew loves to sing, he never sings in front of others. The comma asks the subordinates if they need help. They might not want to admit it, but this time the subordinates do need help. Complete sentences weigh quite a bit. Simple physics tells us that it's easier to balance heavy objects if the weight is evenly distributed. So while the subordinates are quite capable of balancing 2 complete sentences when carrying the weight on both sides, they're having trouble picking just one up. The comma rushes over to help the struggling subordinates. But how will she help? When subordinates begin sentences, the comma will place herself directly after the first thought or complete sentence. After helping the subordinates, our comma heroine continues on and spots a conjunction holding the weight of 2 complete sentences. Bartholomew was accepted into the University of Chicago, and he is on the wait list for Stanford University. The comma asks the conjunction if he needs help. Of course he does. Hurry! The comma rushes and places itself before the conjunction. Fanboys aren't as militant as subordinates. For this reason, the commas don't have to fall in line behind the fanboys. Fanboys are courteous creatures. They allow the comma to go ahead of them. Helping others is hard work. On her way home, our comma sees a conjunction holding up the weight of a complete sentence and a fragment sentence. Bartholomew is going to major in molecular biology, or interpretive dance. The now exhausted comma asks the conjunction if he needs help lifting the items. This is one of the rare occasions where a conjunction doesn't need the help of a comma. The conjunction assures the comma that help isn't needed, which is good for the comma, because by now all it wants to do is go home and rest up for another day of vigilant sentence constructing.
Okay, girls? Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
See you tomorrow, girls. See you tomorrow.
Bye, miss.
Bye, miss.
Bye, miss.